Hello, everybody. This is Brandon Shutter. This time we're going to be going over how to import resources into Terraform that were not created in Terraform, but were created in the UI or the API instead. So for this video, what we're going to do is actually create a cloud rule inside of Kion and then import that into Terraform, and I will show you how. So first in the UI, I'm going to go ahead and create a new cloud rule. I'm just going to call this Terraform import. And this would, usually a cloud rule here that you would want to import already created. And I'm going to take the IAM policy that I created in the very first video called sample resource. And I'm going to create this cloud rule with that information. Next, I need to know how to import this into Terraform. So in our documentation, on the Kion registry, we actually have an importing resource state instruction. Effectively, it says make sure you've already initiated your project, with which we have, and then importing that into our Terraform. So Terraform actually requires the cloud rule to be set up as like a blank resource, or rather, it requires the resource to be set up in Terraform without any of the information. So I'm going to say resource. It's a Kion cloud rule. I'm going to say import test. And I'm going to leave this blank. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Terraform import Kion cloud rule dot import test. And according to the documentation in Kion, the way you import it is the ID of the resource in Kion. So I am going to go back to my Kion install, move that out of the way, and you'll see here that my cloud rule is 37. So back in Terraform, import test 37, and importing from ID 37, import prepared, it imported it correctly. Terraform will now manage this resource moving forward. So here's where it gets a little advanced. So even though we have this imported right now, if we were to run Terraform plan, it'll yell at us because the argument, we're missing one of the required fields. So when you import it, the resource has to be blank. But in order to have Terraform manage it from that point on, you need to meet effectively the requirements of that provider. So we could go in here and say name equals Terraform import. That's what we name the cloud rule. Run Terraform plan. And you'll see that it's yelling at us because we're still missing required arguments. And this is kind of one of the gotchas of Terraform working backwards. So it says that we need to include either owner user groups or owner user groups or owner users. Now, rather than a guessing game, Terraform actually has a really powerful tool called Terraform Show. And effectively what it'll do, it'll show everything that's currently being managed by Terraform. And so if we go through Terraform Show and we scroll up, we'll see here that we have our cloud rule here. So if we wanted to, we could replace what we've written and just copy and paste into our Terraform the information that came from Terraform Show. Now, this isn't bulletproof because, again, if I run Terraform plan here, it's going to yell at me that some of these things here are not part of the Terraform configuration. It says here like built in, it's decided automatically. It doesn't know what ID is because these are things that are automatically created via Terraform when we did the import. So if we remove these, and then I'm going to clear it, make it prettier, and we run Terraform plan again, we'll see that the provider will say, look, we're good now, right? There's no changes to be made. The infrastructure matches the configuration. So at this point, we've successfully created a resource in Kion, imported it into Kion, and then set up the resource in which Kion, or rather Terraform, is aware of this cloud rule. Now, if we wanted to change this, right? Say we don't want the name to be Terraform import, and we want to be Terraform import test, for example. I could run a Terraform plan. It will say that we have one change to make, right? We're changing the name from Terraform import to Terraform import test. If I run a Terraform apply, and then I hit yes to the prompt, are you sure you want to do this? It'll go out there and change the cloud rule name. If I refresh my page, You'll see now it says Terraform import test. So that's an example of how we can use Terraform to import a resource that we didn't create in Terraform, and then be able to manage that resource in Terraform once we've imported it. That's it for this video. Have a great rest of your day.